It was their third straight 2-1 game, their first loss at 2-1. However, the teams played very well. It's a very evenly matched game. Minnesota is a heck of a team. They're finally starting to get better now. They're getting more healthy. Pittsburgh actually outcoursed them, despite the fact that the shots are quite even. So Pittsburgh hit the net a lot. Dubnyk did get quite lucky. He played well, but he also did get very lucky. I like to call him the trophy burglar because he stole a Tanks Masterton from him the year that he won for being at Edmonton. Anyways, I digress. So, very exciting game. Now Pittsburgh gets right back at it tonight against Winnipeg in Winnipeg. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we could see the start of Casey D. Smith, the rookie, in net. A little bit scary since Pittsburgh does not have a legit backup, but he can't be any worse than Antoniemi, who was absolutely abysmal, just horrendous in a Pittsburgh uniform. I believe he had like a 730 save percentage or something god-awful like that. So D. Smith can't be any worse. He's got excellent AHL numbers. Now we know that the AHL doesn't always translate to the NHL. I would have liked them to call up Tristan Jarry and give him time, as he's supposed to be Matt Murray's backup in the future and now. But Jarry's not had a great season at the AHL, so they want to give him time to season and develop. And, I get that. That makes sense. Let him get better. I think we'll see him probably this season sometime. I don't think D. Smith is going to be a long-term solution or even a short-term solution. He's probably just a stopgap, I think, until they find someone else or until Jarry's ready. But anyways, enough about that. So, about the game last night. Another very good game. A solid effort from both teams. Both teams play outstanding hockey, similar style hockey. Bruce Boudreau loves to push the pace. He's a very offensive style coach, as is Mike Sullivan. Washington had some of their best seasons ever when Bruce Boudreau was coaching. So it's not really a surprise that Minnesota's done very well. He's just had shit luck in the playoffs. But, it's not a fault of his own. He was totally destroyed by Jake Allen last year, who played weirdly well. And in Washington, they just got unlucky. They played really good teams. They played Pittsburgh, and, that's tough. But nothing to do with him. He's a heck of a coach. I don't think he gets enough credit, really, for how good of a coach he is. And Sullivan, as well, is also a heck of a coach. Sullivan has not lost a playoff series yet. Neither has Matt Murray. And that was actually Matt Murray's first loss in regulation this season in all the starts. So that's pretty impressive. It took him this long and to lose in regulation, 12 games in. And he was great. He started off pretty shaky, but he's really come into his own the last 3 games, letting in 1 and then 2 goals. He's very solid. He made the saves he needed to make, plus some ridiculous saves. Made an insane save of the year the other night against Mark Letestu, and he grabbed it from behind his back and swatted away on the line. Sure, goal. Last night, he didn't have to make any outstanding saves, but he was good when he needed to be. The first goal by Daniel Winnick was just a sick move. I had no idea Daniel Winnick had that in him. I didn't even know he could have a move. He was a little bit close. I would have liked to maybe see Murray use a poke check a little bit instead of letting Winnick get in all alone. At some point, your defense got to do something. But that was pretty nice, but the poke check would have been good. And the second goal was a screen. It was a pretty sick shot. Great tip. Not much Murray can do about that. It did look like it went through his 5-hole, so maybe he should have closed his legs tighter together, but screens are hard and tips are pretty much impossible to see because they get redirected. So tips are impossible to stop, especially if it's a double deflection. I don't know if this was, but in general. So you can't really fault Murray for either goal. Pittsburgh's defense was solid again last night, only allowing 30 shots against, which is not too bad. They've really been better the last few games as they've been on a nice little roll. They're starting to come together. They've not been allowing as many shots. They've been scoring more goals. They've not been allowing as many goals. It could backfire tonight on the second half of back-to-back, which is usually a guaranteed loss, but we'll see. They might play really well in front of D. Smith because they might want to give the rookie a solid performance. There was travel involved from Minnesota to Winnipeg. Not sure how far that is, but at least they're still in the right time zone, so that's good. Pittsburgh's got injuries piling up, just like Minnesota. It was a battle of injured teams. We have Schultz and Hunwick both out with concussions, which is unfortunate because Justin Schultz is pretty much the only puck-moving defenseman that the Penguins have, along with Chris Letang. Ole Mata's kind of come back down to earth, but he's still playing very well. Patrick Hornquist started the year injured. Matt Murray got whacked in the head last night by Miku Koivu's leg, his knee, as it were. He got kneed in the head. Stayed in the game, but he was definitely shaken up. He was pretty slow getting up and pretty slow moving around the first couple minutes. I would have just taken him out. I think that point it was already 1-1. That could be a reason why maybe he led in the second goal. I don't know, but There was no point in keeping, or it was already 2-1. Yeah, it was already 2-1 at that point. There's no point keeping him in the game at that point. There's only 5 minutes left. You might as well give Casey D. Smith a taste of NHL action for 5.5 minutes. Murray has an injury history. I believe he has a concussion history. The last thing you need is for yet another player to be out with a concussion because of Pittsburgh's doctors' complacency and the lack of concussion spotters actually doing their job, which they never seem to be doing because players are staying in the game. I do not like that at all. I definitely think Murray should have been taken out of the game. There's no point. There's no point risking his long-term health for a chance to try to tie it up later on anyways, which they didn't even do. I did not like that decision by Pitt at all. I'm not surprised because Pittsburgh's treatment of injuries has been abysmal, and I think that could be why they're always getting injured. But yeah, I don't know why he was allowed to stay back in the game. And if he's got out with, we find out that he's out with concussion, I'm going to point to that incident and say that's the reason why he stayed in the game when he should have been taken out. Anyways, other than that, it was a great game overall. Yet another power play goal for Pittsburgh. I believe that's power play goals in the 6th or 7th straight games. I'd have to check, but Gino Machina with another goal. He started off slow. So did Phil the Thrill, but they really picked it up lately. Those two teamed up. Phil Kessel, I believe, now has 10 points in the last 8 games. He's on fire. Gino's on fire. Crosby's consistent, slowed down a bit, not getting as many points as he was earlier in the season or even early in his career, but he's still the best player in the world. He was still, pretty amazing every game, last night included. I thought Letang was a beast last night. I've really missed watching him, but he's really not looked out of place since coming back. He's looked better than ever. He's looked faster than ever. He made some sick defensive plays last night. Dumoulin, I think, is having a heck of a season. One play in particular stood out for me with Brian Dumoulin when Minnesota, I think they were on the power play. They shot it and Murray was way out of position, and Dumoulin reached back and got it on the line, played goalie. Letang was covering his man. Unreal play. I think he's a very underrated defenseman, and I think people are kind of realizing now how good he is. I've been preaching about him for a while, but he's loved in the analytics community. He's got great analytics stats. He's not flashy, but he's a perfect complement for Letang because Letang does all the flashy razzle-dazzle. It's an end-to-end rushes, and Dumoulin is just solid back there. You know what you're going to get night in, night out. He's not going to score a lot of goals, but he's not going to give up a lot of goals either. The two of them work very well together, and Matt is really playing better. It's unfortunate that Schultz is injured. Corrado's called up, but he's not playing. That would be nice. Zach Trotman, I thought, he didn't look too bad. He looked okay. Ian Cole made a horrendous penalty at the end of the game to basically throw away any chance Pittsburgh had of winning when it was 2-1 and they still had a chance to maybe tie it up. Instead, they were forced to kill a penalty. Murray cannot go to the box, and Murray cannot go to the bench, and they were calling a penalty for the final minute there, whatever. It was just awful. No need for him to trip the guy the way he did. I don't know why he did that in the defensive zone. You can never take those types of penalties. It was just a bad penalty. Ian Cole needs to know better. I know maybe he can't fully see because of his cage business going on, but you can't be taking the penalty. That was a pretty bad call. I did think that the call on there was a call earlier on the game, a slash, I think on Malkin, or not a Malkin, but it was on a different player where he slashed a player. I think it was Brian Russ slashed a player, and then he got called for that. Barely tapped his gloves. I know the NHL's cracking down on that, but it wasn't much of a slash. Didn't like that call. Malkin also got injured when he took a penalty, so hopefully he's okay. So, the refereeing was also questionable, but, it's like that every game in Pittsburgh and not in Pittsburgh, so can't really say it's hometown bias because it happens all the time. They're just bad. So, yeah, that's all I have for this game. Please like if you like. Subscribe if you really like it. What are your thoughts from the game? How do you think Pittsburgh is playing? I think they're finally coming together. Their record of 7-4-1, so it's not outstanding. They definitely could be playing better, but they played a lot of hockey lately, so, they're going to take a while to get going, and that's okay. They're definitely not going to finish second in their division. I think they'll definitely finish ahead of New Jersey, maybe even first, probably even first in the conference and in the league, which is what most people have them at, although Tampa Bay is giving them a run for their money. So, that's all I have for this video. Please like if you like, subscribe if you really like it. Let me know what you thought of the game. Are you looking forward to tonight? How do you think D. Smith will fare? And that's all for now. All right. See you after tonight's game. Let's go Penguins.